Tommy McMillen versus Marwan Rahiki was just announced for UFC Noche. Is going to be the featured fight of the card, and I'm really excited. McMillan actually requested to be on this card. He trains out at Red Hawk Academy, which is also in Arizona, where UFC Noche is being held. So it seems like he's getting exactly what he wanted. He trains with Tim Welch, Sean O'Malley, and them. And McMillan is fighting the undefeated Marwan Rahiki, a great striker with 8 finishes. All 3 of his UFC fights have been finishes, so we're in for a great fight. And I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this fight. We're about a month out, so it'll be here before you know it. I'm going to start off with McMillan. I already made a video on him after his win against Alberto Montez. McMillan is a great striker with insane pressure. He broke the record for most strikes in a 3-round fight for his last fight against Montez. He was able to finish him in the 3rd round. And leading up to the finish, you saw pretty much everything that makes McMillan special. He's able to mix combinations, and he has relentless pressure. He has a bit of a chin. McMillan has been dropped quite a bit, but springs back up. He's a bit of a taller featherweight, 6 feet tall with a 74-inch reach. And like Rahiki, has only seen the judges once. David McGowan went to decision against him on Dana White's Contender Series. So it's looking like we're going to have 2 undefeated prospects go out in a couple weeks, which is just awesome. So to get into this breakdown, I think we know what McMillan's game plan is going to be. He has approached every fight the same way, which is using his greatest asset, which is his relentless pressure. His fight against Rahiki is going to be 3 rounds, and we've seen him go full gas for all 3 rounds. Tommy's going to march forward, and he's going to beat the legs, jab the body, and basically try to have his way with Rahiki if Rahiki allows it. Rahiki has not faced a pressure fighter like Tommy. His fight against Malumba was probably the highest pace or pressure he's faced, but I wouldn't even call it that. Malumba just caught him early and tried to force to finish, and Rahiki was able to recover and get a finish of his own. One thing I noticed about Rahiki is that he's not someone who's afraid to bite down on the mouthpiece and trade in the pocket. So I feel like we're going to see a lot of that against McMillan. Rahiki is a bit of a counterpuncher. He has a nasty check hook. And I think this is going to be his greatest weapon against McMillan, because McMillan is going to be constantly walking into range. Rahiki's really quick to return fire. And McMillan, his chin is kind of weird, so he might... I think he's going to drop McMillan with one of these at least once, because we know McMillan is going to be coming with a high tempo, and Rahiki only really needs one. The question is, can Rahiki get the finish after he does it? Rahiki seems to have finishing instincts. He understands how to swarm the fighter, but McMillan seems to spring back up after he gets dropped. It's the weirdest thing. Or if he does get swarmed, he'll sort of scramble with the fighter until he can get back up. So overall, for striking, I'm going to give the slight edge to McMillan just because I've seen him mix it up more than Rahiki. Rahiki is the more technical striker. He does drop his hands, but not nearly as low as McMillan, and is faster than McMillan. But McMillan mixing up the combinations is going to be a big issue with Rahiki. McMillan sort of enters like a flow state if the opponent allows him. I do think Rahiki will disrupt the flow and rhythm early on especially. It really is a question of, can he get the finish after doing it? I don't think so. I think McMillan will be able to recover. And as the fight goes on, we know that Tommy could keep that pace. And will Rahiki be able to get the finish then? I really don't think so. So I think this fight really just comes down to that. Can Rahiki punish Tommy early and get the finish? If he doesn't, it heavily leans towards Tommy since his pressure breaks fighters. And out of all the tape I've seen, I haven't seen any where Rahiki is spending the entire fight walking backwards. Most of his fights, he's able to establish his own pace and sort of be comfortable with the opponent. And Tommy's pressure could prevent him from ever getting comfortable. Rahiki has finished fighters quickly. He finished Ali Schmidt in the first round. Schmidt was fighting on 4 days' notice, but I'm not going to take anything away from Rahiki. He landed a clean combination and was able to make quick work of him. Tommy is a taller fighter, about 2 inches in height and reach, and he fights with his hips scooted back, and this just allows him to move his upper body out the way to avoid counters that we know Rahiki is going to be throwing. Now, what if the fight gets to the ground? I think McMillan does well there. He does have a wrestling background, And his natural fighting stance with his hips scooted back allows him to react to level changes much faster. David Mogollon was able to take him down early, but McMillan was able to defend the rest of them. Rahiki is listed as a striker, and if you look at his stats for takedown attempts, like, there's none. So it's pretty much gonna stay on the feet for this fight. I'm sort of all over with this fight, but the question really comes down to, can Rahiki hurt McMillan early in the fight and get the finish? Because if he can't, I think the fight gets progressively worse for him. Tommy is going to keep marching forward, keep mixing his attacks, and keep forcing Rahiki to work. And we already seen Tommy do that for 15 minutes. So for this fight, I'm leaning towards McMillan because I've seen that pressure break fighters. And I don't think it's a pressure that Rahiki has seen before. But I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if Rahiki finds that check hook early and finishes him in the first round. But anyways, really excited for this fight. As the fight gets closer, I might make a follow-up video on this. It probably won't be its own dedicated video. But, a lot could change in a couple weeks. I might see more tape. And, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, peace.